Greetings guys, welcome back to part 4 of the mobile jointer cabinet build. This is what I'm calling the Dastardly drawer because this drawer gave me the biggest trouble, the biggest headaches of anything in this thus far. Actually of the whole thing. Yeah, everything else pretty much went simply, easily. This was a major pain. Which of course is my own fault, but this is the reason we do these things. We're learning. Actually, there you'll see my friend Carrie. She was in the garage helping me out for this. She actually has a YouTube channel. I'll actually link her in the description on this one. She was my designated vacuum turner honor. She actually helped out quite a bit more than what you see in this video, but a lot of the parts I cut out because she wasn't happy. She wasn't dolled up enough for this video. And here we're just cutting all the pieces of the drawer box together. Actually, the entire drawer is made out of 3/4 ply, which is really overkill for this, but it was what I had, so didn't feel like running to Home Depot to get plywood just for a drawer. If you kind of look behind me there, you can see my my bike, which I really need to ride more considering how heavy I look in these videos. It's kind of made me realize I need to spend more time at the gym. Just kind of making sure everything goes together as expected. And eventually I really do need to build an actual workbench and stop using my table saw as a workbench. Does help you clamp the part in before you start drilling. Oh, by the way, I didn't give my spiel at the beginning of this video. This channel is not meant for an example of how to do things. This is my misadventures in woodworking as a total complete noob. This is my first woodworking project ever, so mistakes were made. Some of which I recognize, some of which I probably don't even know about, but people can feel free to let me know in the comments where I've screwed up. It's not, pardon me, it's not cut on any of these shots, but actually, you'll see me putting this thing all the way together, as far as the box goes without the bottom. The plan then was to drop the bottom in and then put its pocket holes in. But yeah, you kind of see it just kind of jumped there, but the bottom actually wouldn't go in with it all put together, so I had to back the screws out on one of the corners and then put the bottom in and put them back in here. Apparently my cuts weren't quite as precise as I thought they were. No surprise there. Also, this will actually be the second to last video in this series. The next one will just be basically putting a finish on it and kind of just talking about lessons learned during this first project. Using the persuader there to get everything where it needs to be. Went kind of crazy way overboard with the pocket holes for this drawer. This isn't going to be holding anything that heavy. I'm not sure why I thought it had to be so sturdy. Just using that piece of plywood as a spacer to kind of get the rails up off of the bottom of the drawer area. I don't know what you would call that. Drawer cavities, I suppose. trying to get a shorter spacer. I couldn't get the drill positioned with that one in there. And here's where I realized that I had a problem. So the drawer box was slightly too wide. I'm not sure whether I measured wrong when I was cutting, or if I didn't take or if I misread the instructions on the rail kit. But I was just a little too wide there. And you'll see here in a second, I thought that, there we go, I thought that maybe it was just because the sides were, where they came together, were sticking out a little proud, so I was like, well, maybe if I just shave those off, it'll fit. Let's try that. But no dice. That wasn't enough. So I go back and do the other side to see, maybe, just maybe. But as you'll see in a second, that wasn't it either. What I actually wound up doing to fix this, which unfortunately I forgot to hit record on the camera, was I wound up taking the box over to my miter saw and just basically taking off just one of the layers of the veneer on the plywood, and that was enough to make it fit. But I cut out probably a half hour of me screwing around with this thing trying to make it fit before I finally did that. Yeah, then this was after I had finally gone and shaved off a little bit on the miter saw, and miraculously it fit. The screw dad jokes were flying in the garage. Fortunately for you, with this sped up, you can't really hear them. Drawer's a little on the sticky side coming in and out, but it worked. So here we are. This is actually the next day, so I'm by myself again here. No one to goof off with. This is just making the false front for the drawer, which I actually managed to screw up here too. So not on the cut, but, well, a little bit on the cut, but I was just kind of rough cutting it so I could go check to see how close I was, and then kind of sneak up on where it needed to be. It was just a little bit too long, so just shaved probably a half of a saw kerf off of it to get it to match up to the carcass. While I did the main carcass in SketchUp and designed all that stuff, I didn't actually do that with the cabinet doors or the or the drawer, because I wanted to base those off of the real world once I had the carcass built, instead of assuming that everything was going to be the dimensions exactly that I had in SketchUp, especially since plywood isn't actually a 3/4 inch piece of plywood isn't actually 3/4 of an inch. It's a little off from that. So things in the real world don't match. So waited for this stuff until had the rest done, and then just did all this stuff based on the actual dimensions of what I was using on the cabinet. Now I was going to do a trick here that I saw. I can't remember which YouTuber I saw do this, but I was going to go ahead and pre-drill the mounting holes for the drawer pull, and then use screws in those holes to hold the drawer front to the cabinet, so I could come back in and screw it in from behind. But what I didn't take into account is that the position of my drawer pull was too high for me to do that, because I didn't come all the way up on the actual box on the drawer to the height of what the drawer front was going to be, or to up to above. It didn't come up to where the drawer pulls were. So that didn't work. So I had to get creative, and I can't remember whether I forgot to hit record or whether my camera stopped around a battery or what, but I didn't actually catch me realizing the error of my ways there. But and that's where I was like, oh crap. So I decided, hey, I'll use another trick that I saw on YouTube, and you just use some double-sided tape and press the drawer against it, and the drawer front in against it. And as you can see here, that didn't work out so well either, because it didn't stick. I think the drawer box was slightly inset from the outside of the frame, so it didn't quite work. What I wound up doing was I just kind of eyeballed it, clamped it in place, eyeballed it to see if it was matching up with the top, and eventually just kind of got it where it needed to be. Anyway, guys, hey, thanks for watching. I know this series is running really long, but I promise there's only going to be one more video in this series, and it should be a fairly short one. But hey, thanks for sticking around, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. Have a good one.